All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I hope you're having a great Monday this morning so far. So let's start our pre-market show. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, want to do a quick mic check.
Give us just a minute, guys. Looks like Carlos had to restart.
Hey Norm, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. Did you have to restart, buddy?
Yeah, I did. I did. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Norm, how's your morning going so far?
A little crazy, a little crazy. How about yours?
Going good, man. Can't complain so far. It's early though. Let's see what develops in an hour or so.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. So as usual, every week, 8:30 Eastern time, every day this week, we log in, we go over our gappers list, we go over our Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers, and then every day except Mondays, we go over our top highlights and plays for the from the previous day. So kind of go over the watch list we had here that we build, and then we get into what kind of patterns we trade in the chat room with the community. Um, Today we're going to jump right into what the SPY is doing, see what some of the earnings, notable earnings we got coming up this week and what we have going on today. So Norm, fill us in on what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, the SPY's relatively flat right now after putting in new highs last week. Um, we've actually got a really big week coming up, so the Fed is meeting over the next 2 days. Most people are anticipating a 25%, or excuse me, a 25 basis point rate cut, which would be announced Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. We'll see what happens there. Some are even anticipating a 50 point cut, 50 basis point cut. Um, that's been a lot of what has caused this market to rip higher, is anticipation of that rate cut. So it might be a little bit quiet between now and then. We've got another massive earnings week. By the end of this week, we're about halfway through all the companies reporting.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned before, the summer earnings season is condensed and shorter than most of them, other quarters throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And then things kind of die off again, trading wise, for the market in August. And then on top of that, we've got all kinds of economic data. There's nothing really this morning, but inflation, consumer spending tomorrow, home sale info tomorrow. We've got weekly jobless claims like normal on Thursday, PMI, construction spending, and then the big jobs number for July comes out on Friday. So then, of course, on top of that, we also have U.S.-China trade negotiations cranking back up. It's been a while since those got put on hold, a couple months, 2-3 months. Off the top of my head, I can't quite remember. So all kinds of stuff. I won't be trading it, but I'll be really interested to see what happens with Beyond the Meat's earnings release this afternoon
Yes.
after the market close. So I'll have my eye on that. Things gone up just shy of tenfold
Mm-hmm.
of its IPO price of $25, and I think it's up something like 8 times since it opened around, I think it was somewhere between 42 and 45. Sorry, I'm a little sleepy this morning.
Yep. Yep.
We got Apple earnings tomorrow. We've got just a slew of earnings this week, so should be an interesting week.
Yep, it sure should be, and we see kind of the difference. I mean, again, there's opportunities in the market every day, even when there's no earnings. But we do see a difference in the type of stock gappers list, right? For example, on Thursday and Friday, you can see just the number of stocks we never see usually in play that were active, right? And just a lot of great opportunities on Thursdays and Friday, and Friday last week. And already you can see our gappers list. We have a lot more stocks on here. Some good ones that we played before in the past. MYL, I remember that one. YNDX, we looked at that one before. Of course, BYND is on here. So again, some older tickers that we haven't traded in a while start popping up when you get into this earnings season, which is nice. All right, guys, let's get into it. So let's start over here with our gappers list. So MYL, let's see what we have this morning. MYL is gapping up 14%, 3.2 million shares traded so far, so that looks nice. I'm already on the daily chart, so let's see what the daily is showing us here. Has a nice daily. You can see had a nice big drop back in May. Found some support around the area where actually the price action is now, so that's good. So we have some support, some clean support and resistance on this daily that we can trade off. If we go into our pre-market activity at the moment, has a lot of volume, right? 3.2 million shares traded, but the pre-market activity is not all crazy. It's not all out of control, so that's decent. Seems to be selling down here a bit, although it gapped up 14%. So we'll see what develops out of there. A lot of volume in these candles here. You can see this is 300 and almost 19,000 shares in 1, 2, 3, 4 candles here. Not creating crazy movement. But the volume is definitely very high this morning in these candles. So interested to see what happens later on in the morning. This one we have traded before in the past. When it is in play, it does trade very well. You can see here, again, normal out of the normal activity happening here. You can see after that, it also gave us some good continuation the following day. So again, when it is in play, it does trade well. Is this one on earnings today, Norm, or any other news that's going on?
No, yeah. So Pfizer, which is down second to the bottom on the gappers scanner, PFE, is merging their off-patent and generic drug business with a unit of Mylan, kind of going into forming a different entity that will focus on generics and off-patent drugs.
Oh, got it.
That's what's going on there.
So that's what's happening here. So with that said, let's look at PFE. PFE is down 3.2 instead of up. 1.2 million shares traded. Doesn't look as great as MYL. So MYL might be the one to watch. But the daily does have an interesting spot here. Here it trades very nice drop here. You can see how it finds the support over here, and then you can see how it just flirts around with the moving average on the way back up, finds another area of support, which I like because this area of support here was previous resistance, as you can see here, so that's nice. So the daily is very nice in this area, not as much so in this area here, kind of very choppy, but this drop does look interesting. So we'll keep both of these on here, even though with this news they should be tradable today, but the pre-market activity on PFE, even though with the 1.2 million shares traded, not as clean as MYL, so MYL might be the one to watch out of these two. Next on the list we have GHDX. GHDX up 3.6, 239,000 shares traded so far. A horrible pre-market, actually, not very clean here, guys. I don't see much volume happening right now with the pre-market activity, so not looking all too great there. Let's see what the daily chart is showing us. So the daily has a nice, beautiful pop here. Go ahead.
This is also other news where EXAS at the bottom, Exact Sciences, is buying Genomic Health. So it's a cash and stock deal. So GHDX might actually move a little bit instead of just be flat like a normal buyout. But that's what you can attribute some of that funky pre-market trading to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so the pre-market activity not looking all great here. Again, just with a lot of volume, I guess, due to this possible news. EXAX, on the other hand, has a slightly better pre-market activity. Not much volume, 140,000 shares traded so far. This one we have traded in the past before. Right now, daily looks a little bit interesting, a little choppy in this area. Don't really like the way the daily has been over the last couple of days, but you can see a nice drop, holds right at the moving average here, and then we can see get some levels out of this. So we got two of these stocks that are kind of commingling with each other here this morning. So I'm gonna probably pick the best one out of these two, which seems to be the top one, right? So EXAS is a good one, and MYL also looks great on the activity this morning. Next we have YNDX. YNDX Yandex. This one we have traded in the past quite a bit. Daily doesn't look all that great today, though. Look, the daily's just all over the place. But we have traded this one in the past. It has been in play before. You can see we have some levels here from some previous activities. This morning they are up 3.2, 264,000 shares traded so far. The daily chart over the last couple of months has not been as clean as we would like to see it. A little choppy in that area. Let's check out the pre-market activity itself. Oh yeah, this is not the greatest pre-market activity, guys. Again, just kind of pretty flat, just not doing much at the moment, and not with a lot of volume in the last couple of minutes or so, right? So we have some volume over here, but again, not great. So not a fan of this one just yet. Norm, any activity news happening on this morning?
They reported earnings on Friday, but beyond that, there's some potential regulation, I guess, coming in Russia, which is this Yandex it's based in the Netherlands, but they've got a large chunk of their business that's in Russia, and Russia's drafting some laws that might limit foreign companies within Russia. So it's kind of been up and down.
Yeah. So again, not the greatest pre-market activity at the moment. We'll keep it on here for now. Let's go to BYND. BYND is down 2.5. 170,000 shares traded so far this morning. Again, this one has been on a tear, and they report today, correct?
Yeah, after the market, they report after the market close. So like every other day they announce something, whether it's trying to make fake bacon, or I believe they partnered with, or Dunkin's going to have some of their products was announced late last week, but they've got earnings today. So it wouldn't, this drop this morning is likely a little bit of profit taking before earnings come out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They ran an unbelievable, their last week, they ran like crazy. So
yeah, it's just,
if you bought this a week ago and you're not thinking about taking some profits, it would be beyond me why you wouldn't at least cash some of it in.
I see what you did there. Beyond me to take profits. Very nice.
Would be beyond me. Yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, guys, this will be going into earnings. Be very careful if you do trade through earnings. But again, you can see here, it's just I expect, again, my only bias, and I'm not a professional technical an analyst, this thing is going to pop. I mean, it's just because constantly there's always a new franchise being opened up where this thing is, you go to a restaurant now, you see the little symbol almost everywhere, right? So it will be interesting to see what happens. But again, no predictions. We've seen positive earnings come out and things drop, right? So who knows? But this one is right now pretty active, 174,000 shares traded. You can see some profit taken happening now, down 2.1. But do not be short bias on this one. Be very careful trading BYND today and any day. Just the ATR is extremely high, sitting usually above $10 on the ATR. PFE, we looked at PFE already. PFE is up here. This is one that's down due to the MYL and possible talks. And then what else we have here? That completes our gappers list. So we'll get into the NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers, and then we'll get into Norm's top 4. So MYL we have. SLS we know is a penny stock, same as TRNX. Tops used to be active before, not no more. It got into the penny area, now it's no longer tradable. LXRX is down quite a bit here, down 52%, 561,000 shares traded so far. So a nice big drop on them this morning. But looking at this pre-market activity, again, just nasty. I'm not even going to get into this one too much. You can see here 291,000 shares traded just on this candle here. Not creating a lot of movement. It's a very low price stock. I'm not sure if it's a low float, but just looking at the pre-market activity in itself, I don't want no part of this one today. It's 101 million shares float, but it is a pharmaceutical company. Again, just be very careful with this one. Next, we have SINT. SINT this morning, we looked at this one before also. It keeps popping up into our top list, but again, it just doesn't look great on the pre-market activity. It is a lower price stock, so it trades a little funky. 562,000 shares traded so far. Again, just look at this daily chart, right? Like, where do you find your levels? How do you play this out, right? How are you going to find your support and resistance? There's just nothing on here after trading basically at a penny for the last for the beginning all year, looks like, right? This is the beginning of the year right here. So again, just nothing to really go by. So be careful with this. I'm going to stay away from this one. Next, we have SFED. SFED is not doing much, although it has 455,000 shares traded. Look at the pre-market activity right now. It's just not really tradable. Next, AMD. See what our buddy AMD is doing here today. Pretty much flat, not doing much. 300,000 shares traded so far. The daily does look great on AMD though. If you look at the daily, it's kind of been just kind of wedging itself up against this $34 to $50 range here, trying to break out of this last area of resistance. So again, the daily just looks very, very nice. Definitely worth keeping an eye out on AMD today. See what we can get out of that. With that said, let me just jump over to MU, see what our buddy MU is doing. MU has been so strong the last couple of weeks. I mean, just look at this beautiful trend trade it's been on the daily. Just very, very nice, trending lovely here. Got a bit of a pullback. You got some levels and moving averages that looks like it's about to hit here around 46.85. Again, just regular pullbacks throughout this nice uptrend. You're gonna get some pullbacks, right? Although this one looks like not even a pullback, just a gap up and sells off right to even higher than where it had closed before. But again, you're gonna have these healthy pullbacks, and this could be one of them. We'll have to wait and see what it does at this moving average. But over the last couple of weeks, you can see how strong it's been since it bottomed out around 32. So not much activity on MU this morning, which is typical. YNDX we do have already. GXDX we have as well. SINT. Now let's go over to NASDAQ Active. SINT we looked at, so nothing going on there. SLDC, same garbage there. ATHE, same situation. TYME, also the same. MYL we have. KIN, nothing happening here. SNGX, horrible. CDTX, not great. And we have TSEM, also garbage here. We have traded this one before in the past, so I recall. Yeah, see, we got some levels on here. But again, just not doing much right now. Next, let's go down here. CTXR. CTXR also not doing anything great. So that's what we have right now, guys. Let's look at some of Norm. What are you watching this morning? How's your top four looking today?
Frankly, they don't look real great. I'm going to hop in real quick before we get into that, guys, on YouTube and in the room, a few of you guys in the room right now. We know there's an issue with the website. It is with the hosting company. They are working on it for the BBT website. So you might be able to get in. It's very slow to load. We know that. They are working on they are working on it. It was able to get in earlier, just slow. But now with the number of, with increased people coming in as we get closer to the market open, there's some issues there. So I believe we plan on having the feed on YouTube Live going in the meantime, so that as a contingency to the actual trading room. So just a heads up there. If anybody needs to say anything to me or correct me, let me know. But that's my understanding. So with that having been said, Facebook has been in an area of consolidation. It got up around 209, I believe, last Thursday, and then dropped. It gapped up and then dropped. It's finding a little bit of support here at the 20 on the daily, which also coincides roughly with $200. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Facebook. As I mentioned earlier, Apple is reporting earnings tomorrow after the bell, and they're kind of in a consolidation area right here, have been for the last week or so after strongly popping through 200. So I don't see a whole lot going on with that today. There's very little action on NVIDIA so far this morning. It's flat. And then Roku, same. I mean, it has less than 8,000 shares traded. So that's what's going on there. I'm looking for other stuff, but I'm also trying to deal with some of the website things. So I might not have much else to add this morning.
Yep, absolutely, man. No worries. So again, Roku, these all seem to just be consolidating, right? It's just all consolidation happening here. If the market can keep, as strong as it has been, it could cause some of this. It could help some of this breakouts, right? But you got to think about it. These stocks all have bounced back nicely in the last couple of weeks, right? Apple, NVIDIA, they all have been in a really beautiful run, and Roku just been on its own planet, right? Roku's just been every chance it gets, just gives you a nice, beautiful pop, consolidates, continues to head higher and higher. So again, they're in the consolidation mode, but right now, nothing looking too great on the top four for the immediate morning. Later on in the mid-morning, when things get going, volume comes in, we can look at our scanners and see if those give us any type of opportunity. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. Let's start with some of these stocks. So PFE, yep, David, I agree. It has tons of block trades, so I'm not a fan of PFE. I might remove that one. YNDX, yep. LK on gappers. Let's see what LK. I don't have LK on my gappers, but I know LK is a recent IPO going back to early June. You can see here just over the last couple of days, just trending up nicely, hitting the all-time high here, the recent all-time high, right? Right around 25.26. So interesting. Right now, not great activity in the pre-market action, but I can see, again, this is a daily one. If you've been watching this one over the last couple of days, it could be a good one to trade because, again, it's been giving some really good up runs here throughout the day, throughout last week and Friday as well. So let's throw it on here. I don't have shares for short on this one. It's a recent IPO, so your broker might give you a difficult time finding shares to short. But again, it's one that's been really, really active. Not sure how it has been trading. I have not been watching it, so we'll keep it on here and see what we can get out of it. Let's go over to Starbucks. Starbucks had a great, was it last week? Yeah, great pop-up last week. Look at this, gapping up quite a bit here. And today we can get some kind of continuation. So not much going on at the moment, but all they need is volume, David. I do agree with you. But again, this can go either way. You can get some profit taken here this morning, or you can get a continuation. So this is worth definitely watching, but look out for this one in your scanners this morning. There is an all-time high, so there are all the levels you have are already on here, right? You got the highs and lows already there from Friday, previous day close, and then you got the moving averages obviously trying to catch up. Next, we have PayPal. PayPal also has been very active. PayPal today is down 1.7. I do like this daily chart, though. It doesn't have the volume yet, only 46,000 shares traded. But look at this daily. Look at it sitting right back at support where it was on Thursday. And again, it's very clean support here. It honestly looks like it wants to break down from here. I'm being a little short bias on this one, which you should not be. But it does look like if it can break out of this level, it can be a great short or some of these levels down here. So PayPal is worth watching. Again, doesn't have the volume right now, but I like the way this daily chart is setting up. GRUB, Grubhub. Let me remove some of these levels. Grubhub is also up quite a bit here, 6.5. Not great volume. Also, the daily looks interesting. You got a level of resistance right up in this area here around 80. And then you got some very clean levels you can get up here. So another one just like PayPal that could be worth watching. I'm going to throw this on here. I might keep one or two out of these if I don't find any other better ones. Because, for example, PFE, I'm going to take off. GHDX, I'm going to take off. And we'll go through it in details while we're getting rid of those. Let's go over to Teva. Teva, what do we have here? Teva, it's been holding this 750, right? We played, I think, on this day here. We played it for short. And today it's just kind of, bouncing back a bit here. So it's up 4.8. It's got some volume for 1.4 million shares traded. It's not on here probably because the ATR is a little low. Assuming the ATR is probably lower than 50 cents. Just going to check. So if we look at Teva, yes, slightly below that 50 cents at 42. But it does look interesting today. It's very active right now. 1.4 million shares, up quite a bit. So it's worth giving it a look in detail this morning. Tesla, what is Tesla up to? Tesla, after this big drop they had on Thursday, I believe it was. Yeah, Thursday. They haven't done much, so pretty quiet right now. They are going to get some volume in a second, about 100,000. They're just sitting shy of at 93. But the pre-market activity right now is not looking all that great at the moment. We got quite a bit on here that has a lot of volume, has some more movement. So I'm probably going to skip that one for those this morning. All right, let's see what else we have. So we have Starbucks we looked at. TUME, I saw that one earlier. Let's go back to it. This was on here. Where was it? TUME. It hit our top list. It disappeared now, but let's look at it. TEUM. Yeah, so this one here, again, just doesn't trade very well, guys. We traded this one before in the past. You can see here we have some levels on here, but this one just doesn't trade well. Based on my experience, at lower price stocks, you want to be very careful with this one. It's again just not much volume going on now, so you want to be aware of that as well. Yeah, Elias, you know what? I thought you meant that one. That's why I said we saw it earlier, because I did see that one here. But then when I pulled up this chart, wait a minute, we haven't seen this one today. But yeah, but this is the one I thought you meant. Okay, yeah, this is the one I looked at earlier. Again, guys, this one just doesn't have the volume right now. And look at the pre-market activity, it just doesn't look great. So they're gonna skip this one for today. All right, what else we have? I think this is it, guys. We got quite a bit, so we're gonna make this list a little smaller. Let's keep the ones that we like, and then we'll get rid of some of the ones that don't look so great. Norm, I know you're busy with some stuff in the back end. Are you able to go through announcements, or we want to skip and move forward with the levels? Actually, let's do that. Let's move forward the levels, guys. And just for those on YouTube, I know we're aware of the website. So the website is having some issues where it's a bit slow right now. So we are going to keep this live feed on throughout the day. So you'll be able to, if you cannot get into the channel, you'll still be able to catch the action. So let's look at MYL this morning. Let's start here with the top. Let's go over some levels of support and resistance. So on MYL, again, tons of volume, 4 million shares traded so far. We have a high of pre-market sitting at 24. I like this level up here. I'm going to mark this down here at a 23.18. And then you have some areas here as well. This drop here on 21.53. I'm going to mark that down. This area, again, you got a nice, a nice support right in here. And then you got a nice resistance right off that 21.53. So I'm going to mark that down. Then the low of the pre-market looks like it's going to be another great one too. So low of the pre-market at 2018. You can see the 2018 was the base also of this support of the last of these a couple of days here, maybe 3 or 4. Towards the bottom, you do have clearly an area 1977. That's an area there of support. That was the last time this thing came up here and then sold back off. And then below that, you have 19, which is this was the last trading day high. Around 19 here, so you mark that down. That's a good area of possible support as well. So plenty of levels for MYL right now. It's really selling off. Let's see if it's going to hold this pre-market low at 2021, 2018, around that area. Again, I don't think it looks like it might want to just break down from there. All right, so let's go over to PFE. PFE I don't like, guys. The daily chart just looks a little funky. Pre-market activity a little bit all over the place. Again, these two are in talks about a possible merger, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to keep MYL instead. It has better volume and also has a cleaner pre-market action. As you can see here, just selling off nicely, possibly going to head down towards the low of the pre-market, sitting around 2021, slightly right up here. So we'll see what we can get out of that. So I'm going to get rid of PFE, delete this one. GHDX, this is the one that also looks horrible. Again, possible talks with EXA on this one. EXAS. It's possible talks there, but this one doesn't look great, guys. Look at this pre-market activity, just looking nasty. I'm going to get rid of this one as well. Next we have so EXAX. This one, I'm on the fence on this one, but again, just look at the daily, just very choppy here. Yeah, it is down now. It's dropping down 6.3. But I'm just not a fan of the way this stock is looking. Yeah, and it has halted already. You're correct. This thing did halt. You can see here we have a T on here. So that's correct. Once you get that T, Igor, that means that trading has resumed. So yeah, not a fan of this pre-market activity. You know what? We'll keep it on here. Let's keep it on here for now. We'll come back to it. But again, just not a fan of this pre-market activity at the moment. So we have a level here around 106, low of the pre-market 106.46. A level right slightly below the price at 109.95. You also have a moving average in that area also. And then high of the pre-market 114 on the dot towards the top. So you got some good levels based on the daily chart here. Here it's just been very nasty, and just also the pre-market action is not giving us anything great. So with that said, I'm not a fan of the way this one's looking at the moment. So if we have something better, we'll drop this one. YNDX is in the same boat, guys. Look at this pre-market activity. It's just pretty much flat. No action. It is up 3.4, but again, just not giving us anything great to look at. So I'm just going to get rid of this one today. BYND, we have plenty of levels. Don't need to add any more. You can see here high from the last from Friday, which is the high of all time. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, all above. It is all-time high. Obviously, we've seen this stock almost every day. It's just kind of taking off here nicely. So you got plenty of levels at the moment. These guys are reporting today after the close. You can see here with the with a possible profit taking right now going on, but it can definitely take off as we get later into the day. So it'll be fun to watch and see what we can get out of that. Again, be careful in trading this one today. They are going into earnings, and anything can happen. AMD, I love the daily chart on AMD. Again, it's kind of trading into this resistance one more time. Kind of has this nice uptrend here that's been holding. So again, if we can possibly break out of this, it could be very nice and tradable. So just some levels. Only really going to add a level down here towards the bottom. This one here around 33.30. 33.30. Again, in case we lose all these levels and this moving averages, does not look like that is the case. It looks like it wants to head higher. But right now, if you look at the pre-market activity, just not much going on. So I might remove this. So I'm going to keep it here just for now. MU, also same situation. MU has been very strong. It's giving some back here, but if you look at the overall trend, it's been on a beautiful uptrend. Every time you get these pullbacks, right, it's been giving you some healthy pullbacks, and then it takes off on its uptrend again. Right now, not much activity going on, pretty dead, but that's typical for MU. I'm going to remove it from my list today, but I might come back to it if it hits our scanners. LK, guys, I like LK. I love the daily chart. My issue is that I don't have shares for short. Right now, selling down a bit. It's up 1.8, slightly with 107,000 shares trade, so volume is increasing. But again, just not really a fan of these recent IPOs, especially when I cannot short them. Now I know it's on a huge uptrend, but the reason I say I cannot short them because I want to be able to play the stock both ways, right? I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. Let's get some levels for it. Let's be prepared. We have the high of the pre-market at 26.60. Let's mark that down. We also have a high right over here from the day it IPO'd at a 25.96, price slightly below that one. Towards the bottom, plenty of levels: previous day close, previous day high, previous trading day high, which was Friday. And you also have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days around this area here. Towards the bottom, in case we lose all these levels, which I highly doubt it, your next level could be 21.73. Also, you got some moving averages also around these areas of support. So that's okay right now. I'll keep it on here, but again, just I'm not a fan of it. Also, I have not seen the way it trades. Usually IPOs can trade a little erratic at first until they settle in a couple of months in. So we'll come back to that one. Now, PayPal is one that I like because of the daily chart. Again, not great pre-market activity, not a lot of volume. But if you look at this daily chart, we're back at this area of support one more time, where we can get some activity and some movement out of, right? Look how we traded on Thursday. Nice drop here. I believe this was an Andrew caught this beautiful short on PayPal. I mean, it just ran nicely. So we're back at that support again. If we can lose this one here, we have a nice area right around here, around 112, right? So you can mark that 112. Below that one, we have another area right in here around 110, right? So not some two nice levels there towards the bottom. Towards the top, don't need to add any more. Plenty of levels, highs and lows, and previous day close from the last 2 trading days last week. Don't need to add anymore, and I'll be shocked if this thing breaks down past this 1198 towards this 110, but we're ready for that if it does. Again, the volume right now, guys, not looking too great, but again, I do like the daily chart on PayPal today. Grubhub doesn't have the volume. It is up quite a bit. I'm not going to keep this one on my list, but let's mark down some levels in case it gets going. It is a nicey stock, and they do tend to start very slow at first. So high of the pre-market sitting at 79.69. Above that, we have 82.92, and then we have this other nice one here at 85. And what the heck, we'll mark this one to 88.04. Towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market very close to the high from the last trading day, so I'm not going to mark that down. But we do have a moving average that is sitting well on some of these levels, 77.62. So you see this moving average coming in here. That's the 200. You also have some areas where you have support. I'm sorry, resistance on this same 72.62. I'm sorry, 77.62. And also look at this one here, this 77.62 coming right to that point. So you do want to have that level marked on your charts. Not great right now, guys. So I'm going to remove this one from the list. Let's look at Teva and see what we have going on there. So Teva at the moment just giving some back, right? Popped up quite a bit here, came up all the way almost to 150. High of the pre-market at 148. Above that, just in case, again, I don't think this thing has the juice the way it's selling down now, but another great level at 888. The reason I like this level, just so we're aware of, is you see these several days using this as support, then finally breaking down, and it breaks down right to the next level, right? And then on the way up, also you can see here several areas using this as 847. Once it breaks that, again, they have resistance at 888. So great level of support and resistance to have on your chart. Towards the bottom, you got plenty of highs and lows. You can mark down the low of the pre-market sitting at 784, and then below that you have plenty of highs and lows of previous day close, where it's been sitting on this 740 support, being really strong here. So we can have that down. So that's what I have so far, guys. We're gonna go through this one more time. Anything else you guys see that looks great that we should definitely take a look at? Let's see here. What do we have? All right, so Uber. Let's look at Uber. I didn't look at Uber. We'll take a look at that. ZM and LK. We'll look at that as well. Let's look at Uber. See what's going on there. We do have a little bit of time. Yeah, so Uber, I don't like the volume right now. It's been consolidating here. It looks great for a pop. Had a nice big day on Friday. So if it can break out, I see what you're looking at. If it can break out of this clear resistance, right where the price is at, the price is clearly right on it. It can definitely take off nicely here. So again, I see that, but right now, just the volume is not there. We do have some levels for this already, right? Look at this 45.60, 69, and then you have another one all the way up here at 47. We had this huge run up. So I think Uber is interesting. The daily chart is interesting, but the volume is not there yet. So I'll be looking for this one to hit our scanners. Next we have as ZM. So ZM, it's another recent IPO, right? Zoom also has a nice daily here. It's been popping up nicely. We do have some levels for it already. Just very, very low volume, extreme low volume here on that one. Next we have AZN. So AZN's daily's been crazy. Look at this thing last week here, just crazy pop. Today's up another 2%, 278,000 shares traded. My issue with this one is the way it trades. It doesn't trade too clean. That's my perception of it, and just a few times I watched, I have not been able to get anything out of it. And also look at the daily. It could be because the daily is just so funky. The daily is just not clean. You can see that right on here, and you can see also just the pre-market activity not giving you anything too great to look at the moment. So that's my issue with ASN. So right now, just go over what we have one more time. Just want to make sure we got some good stuff here. So MYL at the moment is looking good. Volume is still very active, which is insane. We're going on almost 5 million shares traded. The 5 million shares not creating a whole lot of movement. Again, so you do have all that volume, but not creating crazy moves, right? You expect that something with that much volume kind of be going in one way or the other. Look at this, another huge block trades being dropped here. So we got to be careful with that as well. But right now, this one looks very active, looks good. We have some level support and resistance. So definitely one that will be in play this morning. When you have so much volume like this, guys, at the open, you want to be extra careful. Wait for it to settle in, because what could happen is it can be very, very volatile. You're going to have some major swings before that 5-minute mark. You might want to wait at least 3 minutes for you to take a stab one way or the other. It is tradable, right? We can always scalp it for a couple of cents, but you got to be extremely fast to do that, and you got to be able to stop out immediately, right? You don't want to get caught on the wrong side and get squeezed or flushed, right? EXAX, this one's the one that's probably not looking great. It's probably going to join the list that I'm going to cut because this one's just not looking all that great right now. The day looks interesting, sitting right on this level. We have another previous day, the pre-market low at 106 towards the bottom, so we're kind of right in the middle of where the range is for this stock today. So again, but not sure on the pre-market activity. Not sure just yet. All right, so YNDX is going nuts. Our guys in the chat room are giving me a heads up on YNDX here. Wow. So YNDX is getting pretty active here. So something's breaking out on it. You can see the volume just flowing in on YNDX. All right, so this just got interesting. Time to put this on the list. YNDX. All right, so we'll put that on the list. Oh, let's see what else we have here. So BYND, guys, for me personally, that stock is in play today. For me personally, I just don't like the way it trades. I don't like the way the ATR is and how to manage my risk on it. And I don't like the way the spread is sometimes. So I'm just going to remove that one from the list. Next, we have AMD. We'll watch LK. Well, how many I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Way too many. I might drop LK for YNDX. YNDX is looking a lot more attractive. PayPal is starting to drop nice here. Oh, see, PayPal is losing this area of support we had a couple of minutes ago here. So now this is dropping. Hopefully it continue with some good volume here. It needs more volume. Only 68,000 shares at this time. Teva not doing much, and YNDX is still doing this thing. So let's get some levels for YNDX here, guys. So YNDX right now is kind of sitting between a lot of levels. You have the high and low from the last 2 trading days. You have the high and low from Friday. So really, to any levels in here will be one right in here is not a great level, but I like to have levels in between. When the price action is so far out, we have one here and all the way down. One here and all the way down here. I want to have something in the middle, and this one looks like a good area of support and resistance over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to mark that down. And then towards the top, the high of the pre-market right now is an area you can mark as well, 39.27. Mark that down also. So let's see, it's acting pretty wild right now with some volume flowing in. Let's see if we continue that type of activity and that type of action throughout the morning. Hey, Norm, how's it going?
Pre-market ABCD pattern going on.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, it's starting to line up. We should all go along right in here. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. But yeah, gotta.
Hey, I just want to one shout out real quick. I know a lot of people are just coming into the YouTube live chat. saying that they can't get to the room. We're aware there is an issue with the hosting company for the website. So if you're able to get in the room, once you can't, if you can sign in, which is slow once you get in, you're in the room. But there's an issue with that, so many people might not be able to. They are working on it as quickly as they can. In the meantime, we will have this feed up on YouTube, so you can continue watching here. Just really important to take note that there is a fairly significant delay because of YouTube. So whereas if you're usually in the room and you're used to an instantaneous or maybe a half second or second delay just by the nature of the internet, YouTube does delay the feed by 20 to 30 seconds. So keep that in mind. We'll keep this feed going though.
Yep, absolutely, guys. So stay on YouTube for our members as well. I cannot get in. All right, guys. So so YNDX really active right now. Teva at the moment, it's not doing much, looking ugly really. So again, I like the daily on Teva because it's holding this support, although we're heading back down to it. Not a fan of the pre-market action. So might get rid of Teva. Yeah, let's get rid of Teva. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's enough for today. In a few minutes, Brian is going to be joining us, and then Andrew will join us with their watch list, and I'll see what they have on their end. Norm, I know you probably have not had a chance to look at your watch list, but if you do see something that you like that we should look at, definitely let me know. But I know you're working on the back end of some stuff here.
I will chime in if I see anything.
Absolutely. So AMD's here starting to lose it a bit. So let's see if we can get more active heading towards the previous day close. LK is it's pretty flat right now. It's kind of giving everything back. It went as high as 2660. So we'll see if we can find support here. Again, the daily looks amazing on LK. PayPal and YNDX. Yeah, so that's my watch list, guys. This is what we have so far. EXAX is one of the ones that doesn't look great, but again, we'll see what we can get out of this one because I do like the daily can possibly break down from this area of support that we have here. So that's what we have at the moment. All right, so Peter is watching PayPal, YNDX, AMD, EXAS, BYND, Teva, and MYL. Yeah, I like MYL. Let's see what MYL is doing. This is one that, again, it's got a lot of volume, a lot of activity. You can see he's trying to hold this 2050-ish area at the moment. And I do like the daily on MYL. And also, we have traded this one in the past. It tends to trade very well when it is in play. But again, it's just with this type of volume, guys, I mentioned it before, you want to be extra careful and you do not want to, you don't want to trade too early on and get caught on the wrong side. Because I expect it to be very volatile on that first 3 to 5 minutes. PFE. Yes, I looked at PFE. Good morning, guys. Those who are joining us now. Good morning. PFE. What I like about PFE? Yeah, it's just the pre-market activity. Between this one and MYL, I kept MYL. I think this one has a better action. But again, I think this one will be in place. I think you might get something out of it. Also, keep in mind, it is a NYSE stock, so you can expect it to have a horrible pre-market action and still give you something good in the morning. At the open, but MYL, I think out of those two, this one looks like the best possible play for me this morning. All right. Okay, excellent, guys. So we're coming up on 9:15. Trying to see if there's anything else that's popping up into our scanners or anything else that might look great that we should add this morning. Someone mentioned Apple. I'll take a look at it again. When I looked at it earlier, it didn't have much going on. Now it seems like it's starting to get a little volume here. See it down the bottom after around 950-ish or so. You can see some volume coming in, creating a small pop here. Nothing great, but again, the daily, I like the daily. Got some areas of resistance up here from the two previous days highs and lows, and if we can break out of that, it can go on a nice little run. We've seen Apple, again, Apple, Roku, Facebook, Nvidia all have this beautiful comeback, since around June. So Apple's at an area that if it can break out of here, you can clearly see we have some levels all the way up here around, what's this? We have 211.98. That could be an area as well. So again, just a lot of action can happen if it can break out. So see what the SPY is doing. A lot is going to be depending on the SPY, right? The SPY is trying to do the same thing too. We're here at an all-time high of what's this? What are we looking at? 302.24. So if we can break out of that, I'm sure it's going to drag a lot of stocks with it. But we'll have to see how that reacts this morning.
Carlos.
Yep.
I've got Starbucks. Starbucks gapped up hard on Friday, and it's given some back down 1.5% on some decent volume so far. So I've got my eye on that.
Yeah, this one actually is looking interesting. We mentioned earlier because it had a big day on Friday, and it could have a continuation day today. So, you know what? This one actually, for me personally, I didn't add this one on here because it just didn't have a lot of activity going on. But this for me personally might look better than LK actually, because the problem with LK, I can only play it towards the top. I don't have shares to short. On Starbucks, I can actually go both ways on this. This might be a better option. So I'm gonna remove LK, guys. I'm gonna add Starbucks and see what we can get out of that today. So I'm just adding here the high of the pre-market at a 98.20 and the low of the pre-market at 97.32. See if we can break out of that range that we're stuck in right now. And then you have plenty of levels. Previous day close, high of the trading day on Friday and the low of the trading day on Friday as well. And then right in here, I don't believe we have any levels. I think this is all clean because this was the previous all-time high, right? So no levels in there, guys. So we'll see what Starbucks does today. Again, just a monster day on Friday. Gapped up, sold off a bit, and then just shot up all the way to $100 here. YNDX, let's go back to that action. So this thing just got a slew of volume just slamming in here. Kind of did an ABCD pattern. Now it's kind of pretty flat. Volume has died down a bit, but definitely something going on there worth watching this morning. TSEM, someone's mentioning, Melly, you're mentioning earnings on TSEM. Yeah, this is on our gappers list. It's up 9.9. Not on gappers list, sorry. It was on the top list. My issue with this one is just the activity right now. It's not great. I had a huge day on, this was what, Wednesday? So a huge day Wednesday, but just right now the pre-market activity is not looking great. But this is what we'll do. Let's mark our levels. If this thing hits our turbo breakup to a breakdown, we can tune into it. But for the open, I'm probably not going to be watching this one. So 2051, high of the pre-market. Then we have, what levels we have above this? All right, here we go. We got some level. Look at that 2051, how clean that is. Right across all these areas of support and resistance. High of the pre-market right now. Clearly, this is a high all the way up here, 2264, and then you have another one right in here at 2136. So mark that down. Then towards the bottom, I'm gonna mark this one here also, 1962, and then this one right in here at 1931. So let's see how that plays out. Yeah, so that's perfect. We have some levels right on there already for this one, but again, just the pre-market activity not great. But if it hits our scanners one way or the other, we can take a look at it. So question: does MYL look like a short right off as it is hitting below and touching support, mostly 1, 5, 15 minute? Great question. I'm this one you're gonna have to be extra careful. I do like the way it's setting up for a short, I gotta say, and I want to see is at the open. I want to see it pop up, hit the VWAP. Right, and then that's what I want to get in for a short. Hopefully, crack the open though for open range breakdown. But that has to be very clean, right? And we got to see it's got to be tradable. Take a look at the. I'm sorry, excuse me here. Take a look at the spread before getting into this. I'm actually one of my rules is to wait 3 minutes. I have to wait 3 minutes before I get in, just because that first 3 minutes could be very, very crazy. So if in that 3 minutes it's setting up nicely where it hits the VWAP, it's selling up, and then it starts heading down, I might be getting in for a short to crack the open range breakdown. But again, all that thing has to look great. Level 2 has to look great. The spread has to be good. But I expect this to be a little crazy. I might even want to wait 5 minutes for this one, just because the way the volume is setting up. It's a lot of volume right now being traded in the pre-market. So, and look at the range of the high and low of the pre-market right now, right? We're at 24 high, 20 low. So it's it's pretty high. You want to be extra careful on this today. All right, so we're coming up at 9:20, guys. So starting to get all set up here. I'm going to see how we can get our scanners. Yep, so give me 1 second, guys. I gotta pause things here because I gotta bring up the scanners for the chat room and also for YouTube. So just 1 second.
Yeah, guys. So Carlos is getting his station set up for the actual trading day. He'll be back on here in a minute. Scanners and everything else. We are going to keep this. We're going to keep this stream going for now. So there'll just be a little bit delay as we get set up and ready to trade. But as somebody mentioned earlier in the feed, just keep in mind that there is a delay on YouTube. It's nothing that we can do about it. We can't do anything about it. It's about 20 seconds or so. So just keep that in mind when you're watching on YouTube.
All right, so got this going.
So on my watch list, I've got Facebook, Apple, MYL, PFE, but I'm not super excited about EXAS, LK, Teva, and PayPal. I'm going to take it slow today. I've been busy trying to keep people posted on the site and everything else, so.
Yeah, it's one of those days where the system is not cooperating with us. All right, guys, so I got my screen up finally on YouTube. We should be able to see the scanners and also my charts. Let me just update my my list here. All right, so here is my watch list. I like MYL today. I like EXAS, AMD, PayPal, YNDX, and SBUX. All right, so that is my list this morning. Let me post this in the chat room as well. All right, so MYL. AMD. PayPal Y. NDX. And XBUX. All right, so that's my list. Let's go over these, just make sure, see what's happening. So let's start with MYL, see what we got going on here. It seems to be holding this bottom at the moment. So let's see, I'm looking for that to pop up and see what it does around the VWAP at the open. Gonna be careful with the type of volume it's gonna get. I'm probably not going to trade that before 3 to 5 minutes. Next one here will be EXAX. I mean, I have this one on here, but I don't know. I'm still not too excited about this one. We'll have to see. This could surprise us. This could be the sleeper today. It can go either way. It can be really good or just do nothing. But it's worth taking a look at. AMD at the moment, it's getting the volume as usual. Daily chart looks great. We'll have to sit in on this one and kind of see what it does at that first 5 minutes. It can go either way. Also, keep in mind this MU and AMD, they tend to go pretty choppy that first 15-30 minutes. So if you try to open your range breakup and it doesn't work, just let it settle down, see what it does around that 30-minute mark. It usually tends to go on this beautiful trend trades. Look for a strategy around that point, ABCD pattern. And also keep in mind these opening range breakups or breakdown can be active all the way up to an hour. So don't force a trade on AMD. Wait for it to settle in. PayPal is nice. I'm a little short bias on PayPal right now. The way it's looking like it wants to head down towards this other 111.98 level we have here. So already lost the low of the pre-market. So we'll see what it does from there. Volume starting to come in. If you could see the pre-market activity, it looks pretty decent right now. Then next, YNDX had this crazy pop at a couple of minutes ago. Just insane in that area. Oh, that's too big. So we'll see, settling down now, but this definitely caught somebody's attention. So let's see what we get out of that. SBUX at the moment, just pretty flat right now. But again, we love the daily on this one. We'll see what we get out of that if it's gonna have a continuation day today. If you're just joining us on YouTube, as Norm mentioned, again, we are having problems with the site, so we are aware of it. So we will keep the YouTube live open for today. Hopefully this will be rectified today with our hosting company.
I am finally getting all my screens ready.
Yeah, yep. All right, guys, I am setting up my screens as well. Since I am still on YouTube Live, I will only be able to see about 3 stocks at a time, so that's going to limit me a bit, but that's okay.
We'll just take it slow.
Yeah, it'll be one of those days. We'll take it easy.
Somebody was asking about the ATR on Mylan. It's 58 cents, according to TI.
NYL. Yep. All right, guys, 1 minute to the open. Norman, I will take you through the open. I'm sure Andrew's probably trying to also get in the site, probably not able to. So we will take you through the open this morning. Again, patience, guys. Wait that 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Do not rush anything. And we'll see what the market gives us today.
Pfizer's popping up pretty good already.
All right, guys, rock and roll. Let's see what we have. All right, so we have AMD's getting some volume as expected. MYL's popping up. Let's see what the MYL is going to do here at the VWAP.
Surprisingly, Apple's trying to go higher.
I got a sell-off on AMD happening here. MYL's is right at the VWAP. Gonna wait 3 minutes as just to make sure what we're gonna get out of this. All right, so here's MYL selling off a bit right at the VWAP. AMD's going green to red right now. Nice drop with some big volume at the moment on AMD. YNDX is a little wild right now, guys, so be very careful. Look at these spikes going up and down here, so just careful on that. PayPal's not doing much at the moment. All right, so MYL is selling off. MYL is looking good for a short. I wanted to wait 3 minutes, but this seems like a very, very good entry right now. Just want to be patient. I don't want to rush it. Yeah, going short MYL, guys. Stop loss 21.20. So we'll keep it tight. I want to see if it can break down from this 21 we have here. So having a hard time. If it takes too long, I'm going to hop out of it. So 21.20 will be my stop here. Yep, I'm out of it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just said sorry. I had to drop off for a second. Got a phone call right at the open, which is kind of rare.
Oh, I thought that was your alarm that went off. Okay, okay.
It was. I have an alarm that's set 1 minute before the open that goes off every day, and then my phone went off about 30 seconds into the open. Anyway, I took an Apple long as my phone was ringing.
Nice. Going back short on MYL as well. Just like it might just want to stop me out here. Again, stop a little higher. I'm gonna keep it to the VWAP 21.30. I want to see if it sells off now. It seems to be having a lot of selling pressure up there, so I want to see if we can break down this 21.
I'm just hanging in here to see if Apple can make a new high.
Nice. Wow, AMD selling off big time down past the previous day close. A nice move towards the bottom with some good volume.
There it goes. Apple new high. Took a first partial on it right there at 209.40.
EXAS also selling down with some serious volume as well. MYL's giving me a hard time. 21.30 is my stop if it cannot break down from this 21. If it goes above VWAP, this thing is going to be really strong. It's actually going to be a long and not a short. Yep, I'm out of it. This thing is gonna squeeze very nice now above the VWAP. But I am not great at flipping my position, and I will not do that here because it can still drop. But it looks like it wants to get out towards the top above this moving average here, hitting 21.50.53 now. See what AMD is up to here.
Took another partial on Apple as it busted through 209.50, so around 209.60-ish I got out. I have a little bit of it left.
Nice, looks very strong here. Wow, Apple just got volume out of nowhere. I mean,
I was really shocked, especially with earnings after hours today, that it would run
yeah.
like that. But
MYL is setting up for a long, but I hate flipping my position when I thought something was gonna go short. But this is looking very nice. Nice pullback towards the VWAP. Looks like it's establishing something above the VWAP here. So if it can break out at 21.53, what's our next level we have here? We have a moving average around 22.
I didn't have much of my Apple left, so I just got out of the rest of it right now. It really spiked on Friday and then sold off pretty hard, so I'm not going to risk it. I didn't have enough to make it worthwhile anyway at the time being. So it's one and done for me today, but I'll keep looking around.
Nice, excellent. There it is. MYL is popping up nicely. Should have flipped my position, but I'm horrible at doing that. I admit, I hate flipping positions.
So did you take it short, got stopped out, then you flipped on it?
Yeah, I got stopped out twice. I was expecting for the breakdown towards the low of the day. So 2 small losses on this one, but man, it's just, I knew as soon as it went above the VWAP, it was going to be a long, but
yeah,
flipping like that for me is not a skill.
Great. No, you're not known to be a flipper very often, but that is excellent risk management on your part, man. 2 small losses and 1 trade makes up for them and takes care of it.
Yeah, so it is. You can't let these losses get big. That's the key to trading. Got to keep them really tight and small. So let me. I'm a little constrained today. I can only watch AMD, SX, and MYL. So if you guys see something that you like, call it out because I have my other screens tied up at the moment.
Starbucks looks interesting.
Oh yeah, this looks
trying
like
to go for a higher day.
AMD turned out to be a great short. Even at the 5-minute open range breakdown, you can see here it's just continuing to drop. YNDX made a lot of noise, but really didn't do much after the open. Besides that one drop, really dried up right now. PayPal just seems to be can't be PayPal at the moment.
My one's still looking nice.
Yeah, it's hit it. I think it's gonna go even higher. Really, I mean, this thing looks really strong here. It is up 17% right now, so
Now Apple's given back some of its gains. One to me looks like it wants to try for high a day as it crosses that 1 minute moving average. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Apple looks like it's done. To me, at least.
nice MYL pulling back here. See if it can hold the VWAP.
SPY's been dropping, but trying to find support on the 205-minute moving average. I'm a little bit surprised. The VIX is actually up about 5% this morning, and I haven't seen anything that would lead me believe that would get a little extra volatility popped in, and maybe just the news coming up this week. Still not. It's still pretty darn low. So.
I thought MYL was gonna hold here, but it's kind of engulfing the previous 5. It's not looking too great.
I thought Starbucks was looking interesting. It really just turned out to be chop.
Which one? Starbucks.
For the moment, at least. AMD has just come crashing down.
Yeah. If I was not messing around with MYL, this could have been a great short, but I missed it on that second pullback on the 5, the second 5-minute candle there, and now it's just too extended. Now to go short now would not be a good risk to reward. SPY is dropping hard though, so I'm sure that's assisting that. So MYL completely engulfed the previous 5. Might hit low, but that's a big that's a lot of consecutive red candles here to take it short at this point.
There you go. Just when Starbucks that looked like it was getting boring, then it finally broke out.
Broke out.
Yeah. I mean, broke out by 6 cents or something, but still made new high. It's about all I see going up in this red market at the moment.
Wow, MYL. That was a nice engulfing crack there. Trying to head towards the low of the day. Didn't quite make it. Well, low of the pre-market, not the day. Low of the pre-market. Peter, did you take that YNDX? That's a nice short off the VWAP. Excellent, nice, great trade.
if Apple makes another run. Got up, bought up pretty well right below 209. Yeah, William. AMD's just been like a lead balloon. Apple looks like it's making another run. It's getting bounced off VWAP. It's trying to. PayPal looks like it wants to lose it to me. Try for low.
Like this
Not very
pullback.
clear right now. On which one, Carlos?
On EXAS XX. I like this pullback here. It looks like it wants to head lower, but it is some short selling restriction. But it does look good for a short here for the crack of the low of the day. See what the next level is on the daily. AMD's finally putting some kind of pullback here after some 3 nice red candles here. Beautiful open range breakdown.
AMD's doing some stuff.
Yeah.
About to engulf on the 5. New 5-minute high right there.
Going short ESAX, see if I get filled. So I send my order in. See if I get filled on here. I'm canceling. It's taking way too long.
Yeah, that's never fun when you have that order sitting out.
Yeah.
We're just waiting to get a terrible fill.
Exactly. I wanted the pop to happen right away and then just sell off, but it's taking too long to do either one. So it might be reversing here. It didn't happen as soon as I wanted it.
We'll be back in just a second, Carlos.
Yep, go for it, man. See what MYL is up to. A lot of activity on MYL. Volume is just crazy. Each of these candles is 2.7 million shares traded. So trying to head back up to the VWAP, see what it does around that area. That was a big engulfing candle here. That's a big drop. So interesting to see what's going to do if it can even get up to VWAP. Starbucks, great breakout. That's the thing. I didn't have Starbucks on the screen here. Starbucks. Oh yeah, that's a nice breakout on Starbucks. So EXAS was doing a pullback here. Didn't quite break, but it does look very weak for some reason. Just kind of banging his head up against that 103.25 towards the bottom. Hugs, it could be doing in a double bottom now. I like the double bottom a little more clear on the 5. Right now I'm not seeing that. On the 1 you can see it's kind of got a double bottom here. But I really like to see it when I play. I like to see this on the 5, right? So this gives it a stronger indication for a double bottom. Also a little later in the morning, but on the 1 it's holding that 103.25. It was not able to break that in that area, so not sure what it wants to do next. The SPY's dumping again, so this might drop a few things on here. AMD, it looks like it was trying to put in a bounce back to VWAP. Let's see what it's going to do with the SPY dropping like that. I see here we have GHDX. We had that one this morning. GHDX is hitting our scanners. See what it actually did. Nothing too exciting. Beautiful breakdown on Starbucks. Might be I'm sorry, beautiful breakout. Might be heading towards that previous day close. YNDX, not much. PayPal starting to look nice here. Losing the VWAP. It could just be following the SPY though, but it has a nice nice momentum towards the bottom. Boris, I definitely agree with XX. It looks short. I actually tried to get in short, but I didn't have a great entry, and I had to sit on the ask. So, but it does look like it wants to lose it here. Let's give one more shot.
Starbucks finally started to move. Oh, you got filled, didn't you?
Got filled, yeah. Let's see if we can lose this low of the day we have here.
SPY's helping you.
Yeah, yep. If it takes too long, I'm gonna hop out even for a break even, because this 103.25 there has been really strong. We really got to break that in a hurry. If it takes too long, it could squeeze us up to VWAP. Here it is, so 103.25. We broke that. Nice. See if we can break a little further.
Keep in mind, guys, if you're watching on YouTube, there's about a 20 to 30 second delay done by YouTube that we have no control over.
There it is. We're battling again with that 103.25. It's just a tough level. But if it cracks that, we're in business.
It's trying.
Yeah, it's trying. I'm gonna hop out of it. I just don't like the way the timing sales is setting up. So I got out of it for a little, probably break even. Yeah, break even on that. Just don't like the way the timing sales is showing up. Some motors in there. It might still do it. I just don't want to hold for a pullback. The pullback here could be very aggressive towards the VWAP. And that's just not worth waiting to find out.
Well, I was watching time and sales while you're in that. It got a little spready at times too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I got out of my Apple trade fast. That
Oh,
thing just turned into pure chop.
look at this here. So it did dip a little lower there, but still, it's not making the move as fast as we would like. I thought it was gonna run once it did that dip there. I thought it was just gonna leave me behind and just keep going.
Well, you know, Carlos too. The volume has just completely dropped off on it. Really.
Yeah, yeah. You can see right here, we're not getting that flush volume anymore like we did earlier. So. All right, AMD's heading back down towards the low of the day. Did a nice pullback to the VWAP. Hopefully, you guys took that trade.
It's gonna break low a day right here too. 56. There it goes. Peter's mentioning Beyond the Meat, down 5.5%, continuing lower.
Beyond the Meat.
There's a whopping 2,000 shares available for short on IB. I won't be trading that. It's fun to watch though.
It sure is. Looks like it wants to go. A lot of people getting out of their position. You know, they don't want to be holding this through earnings. It's a smart move. You never know.
MGM Piper, you asked about PayPal? It's looking pretty weak. It's fairly extended right now, but it's looking pretty weak.
Yeah, so, and then you're coming up on a level of support here we had before 119. I'm sorry, 111.96. So you might get it. You might get a pullback there.
Oh, look at that PayPal drop.
Yeah, beautiful drop there. Nice. AMD just keeps tanking. MYL is getting very tricky to trade because here it looks like it's going to be weak and then it's just bouncing right back up. So it's just getting.
I agree with you.
It's not clean right now.
Like Jesse Wayne called out, it could be a bottom on it. It's putting in right there too.
Yeah.
Maybe concerned under VWAP. It's trying to get through all. It's got a lot of moving averages to get through across a lot of different time frames. My crystal ball is giving me nothing for that one right now.
Yeah, that was out of all of them. It's really hard to read. It looks like SX is going to crack now, maybe.
NVIDIA looks somewhat interesting. There's not a lot of volume in it today, but I've got a daily level at 173.04 that it's bounced off a couple of times.
The longer on this one that we stay here, the most likelihood it's gonna squeeze. It's been battling this 103 so much, so entering here is just not great. It could snap and hit 102 easily, but man, it's just that 103.25 has been a monster to crack. Every time it dips down, it just shoots right back up to that 103.25. Let's see here, 103.15. See if it can run. 103.10. Twitter possible long.
Pfizer looks like it might be putting in some bottom here. It's a little bit stronger. If I was short, I'm not. I have nothing in it. I'm not going to take a trade on it, but it's a little bit stronger than I'd like if I had a short position in it. Coming back to those moving averages and hanging out there right above 42. And it fired off on one of our new scanners a minute ago.
There it goes. It just cracked that 103. Nice.
Now that took forever, didn't it?
Yeah, it took forever. I didn't have the patience to hold through all that.
I don't blame you, man. SPY's at Thursday's high right now. See if that gives any support. It bounced right off of it for a second, so let's see if it holds.
All right, so it looks like chat is starting to come back, seems like. See a number of people coming in, so very nice. So guys, if you're on YouTube, the chat is back up. You can try it now and see if you can get in. It looks like it is. See a lot of people joining in the chat now. Excellent. Wow, what a beautiful drop here. Here was all about the entry. My entry was not great. You can see right there. Although it looked very weak for a short, and we were right? It's just the entry did not allow me to hold for this consolidation, because the squeeze could have been pretty nasty. But if you did hold through that, you got a real nice drop there. Hopefully you're taking profits on the way out, on the way down.
Morning, Brian. Brian finally made it in, I see.
Hey, Brian, good morning. So Brian is in, and
Good morning, guys.
You're long Microsoft, 139.77. Let's check out Microsoft.
My favorite number.
Yes.
Where'd you find that one, Brian? Did you have a scanner it popped up on?
No, I just know everybody's been talking about Microsoft, and haven't been holding it, and I just had it on a bigger watch list. I saw it was selling off, so I thought, what the heck, I'll jump in. It's had 1, 2, 3 waves of selling, and just seemed to bottom, and it was right around that 130, that 77 number. I don't know what it's going to do here, but yeah, it's just I just not trading big, because everything's been, like I said, we've just had some issues this morning, and I've spent more than half my time trying to figure out how to get on here. So that's not a good. So when you're frazzled and that's it's a good thing just to take a deep breath, because you don't want to let your mindset get you to jump into trades that you really shouldn't be taking. So take a deep breath here. Peter, short Intel. Yeah, it came up, tested the VWAP, and now it's pulling back again. Yeah, Things seem a little choppy this morning, and I guess the SPY has been just. In fact, I got a SPY chart up here. It is selling off.
Yeah.
Looks like it may be going to take another leg lower here. We'll see what it does right here, 301. I think it's going lower. But if you're long, don't fear, the market will come back. I mean, just generally speaking.
All right, so here we go.
Are you guys, you in some trades here? Just
No.
trying to catch up.
No, I'm not in any trades. Just trying to catch up on some stuff here on the side. But just looking at EXAS, finally took a drop here nicely to towards 102. Gotcha, guys. Just for those on YouTube that still cannot in the chat room, we see the messages. We're gonna keep this open until now on YouTube anyway, and then I see some people are able to start to trickle in. If you keep getting the error, then just try it later on today. But we'll keep the YouTube feed open anyway.
EXAS is leaking. Um, what else is going on here? Wow, TZA and TNA, like the small caps, have really gotten hit this morning too. Oh, let's just trying to see if we can find something to trade here. Missed the good move for the morning, unfortunately. But it seemed a little choppy this morning anyway, right?
Yeah,
I mean, to me,
was a bit choppy. MYL gave a nice open range break up. I was trying to take a short, didn't quite work with two small stops there, but that was a nice pop, and then an aggressive sell off. And AMD again, I only was able to watch 3 stocks today, so AMD, SX, and MYL. Yeah. Not sure how the other ones reacted or played out.
I'm going to get out of Microsoft. Small loss, just because I think it's it looks like SPY's heading lower. It looks like it's heading lower too, so I'll look to enter at a re-enter at a lower price. Microsoft been strong, so maybe look at an opportunity a little in a few minutes here. I just don't want to see a small loss turn into a big one here. Let's see what else is going on.
PayPal is dropping some more here. Found support around this 111.98. It's dropping a bit here.
Yeah, I was looking at PayPal. I kind of thought it might actually hold that 113 level. I was looking at it to sell some puts against it. I'm glad it didn't.
Man, Nvidia just took a nosedive. Wow. Beyond the Meat down 13%.
Beyond the Meat. Well, they haven't reported yet.
No, it's tonight.
Yeah.
We were talking about that in the pre-market show, Brian, is if hypothetically, if you had these beyond the Meat shares, you'd be insane not to take some of it off the table before they report tonight.
Yeah, I just, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, what they're going to come out with. I mean, if they come out with some surprising numbers, I mean, losing less money than everyone expected, I mean, it could, I mean, with the short interest, it could just be like gasoline on a fire, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the short interest it has and the size of the float, if they come out and beat substantially their expectations, like you said, lose less money,
yeah,
who knows where it could end up tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, so the problem, but the issue with the high, you know, a stock that's heavily shorted can really act erratically. Keeping an eye on Roku as well. It may be a stock that's going to make a comeback here. Is there any reason why the markets are selling off, or is it just?
I haven't seen any specific news. We were talking about earlier that, you know, there's all kinds of stuff going on this week with Fed meeting and rate decision on Wednesday. We've got big earnings this week. Apple's tomorrow after the close, for instance, and AMD's later in the week. So I know there's trade talk with China going on that's restarted.
You get a lot of economic data coming. That ADP, the ADP payroll number.
June jobs report comes, or July jobbers report comes out at the end of the month or end of the week on Friday.
Yeah.
So. Beyond the Meat's putting in an $8 wick on a hammer on the 5-minute chart. That's just insanity.
Yeah, you just can't trade that.
No.
I took a little long on Roku, seeing I was watching it, 102.80. Let's just see if it holds here.
Did you not get the 102.77 entry that I know you'd be going for?
I know, I was thinking I'll just take it here. SPY's bouncing back. And the sellers have taken a break.
Yep. NVIDIA's putting a nice little indecision candle at the bottom of this drop on the 5 minute. Let's see if it can. Struggling to make a new 5 minute high though.
Yeah.
PayPal's got an interesting hammer on the 5 as well. Just hit one of our new scanners.
Yeah, I just took a little of Roku off at 103.22. But you know, SPY is coming back, so
Peter's gone along on Apple. It's already taken a partial.
nice. Wow, Roku was quite the short at the open. Holy cow. Dropped from like 111 to down to 103 here. That is a monster move. Twitter.
Market's a little crazy this morning.
Yeah, there's the bounce on Microsoft. Wanted to stop me out. It's that extra little leg down. I was tempted to hold on to it. I should have. Okay, just taking a little more Microsoft off here. 103.55. Roku, sorry. Yeah. Should get through 104. It's going to have some challenges there, I'm guessing. We'll do a pullback at 104. Maybe over 104, 104.20.
Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, I just got word that the site is back up and things are normal. So if you're a member watching on YouTube, go ahead and try to log on to the site and get in like you normally would into the room. Let us know if there's any issues.
MGM. Just looking at some other stocks here. Disney's come back. Another strong stock.
Thank you, Kim. So we just had somebody confirm that they got in normally. Rishi, I would maybe shut down your browser and try to get in. Clear your cache, possibly. Roku's paused a little bit, but it looks like it wants to surge to me for you.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just hanging around that some 9 simple moving average. I think SPY might be doing a bit of a flag here. Huh. Interesting. I'm looking at TNA. Looks could be a double bottom here. Just took some TNA.
Here comes your 104 on Roku.
Yep. Do. Just gonna have a little patience with Roku here.
AMD's got its only its second 5-minute new high of the day. Interesting. Bounced right off 33.
Okay, sold some Roku 110, 104.10, I should say.
Nice trade.
Ding. Yeah. If you can't find anything else to trade, just go back to your old favorites.
That's what I do.
You know?
Guys, I'm just going to say it one more time on YouTube. We're going to keep the feed open for a few minutes longer on YouTube. The chat room's working as normal. You might have to close your browser out and go back to the website to get into the chat room. So it looks like we're back up and running, and we've got a number of people that are confirmed and come back into the room. So we'll keep the feed up for a few more minutes, and then we'll shut it down, and everybody can go into the regular chat room.
Yeah. All right. Still in TNA. It does look like it's kind of consolidating here. SPY is still trying to come higher, move higher. I will stop out of TNA under 60, excuse me, 62.15-ish, I guess. Oh, it's not working out, unfortunately. I was hoping for a bit better of a move there. It will come back eventually. I know that. Just a matter of time. It's just
Which one's that, Brian?
Oh, I'm just looking at TNA. Starbucks is still hanging in there, just under 99. Still got a few shares of those left from swing trade. I did I did have an order to sell them at the pre-market for over 100, but never got filled, obviously. Yeah, Sarah, I know we've been struggling with the site this morning. Apologize for that. It's our website provider, I guess, Norm?
Yeah, it's the hosting company of the website with the servers. We're having issues. So they've been working on it. There were issues over the weekend, and then just the volume of people compared to the weekend coming in this morning was the final straw.
Yeah, we actually did have some challenges with it on the weekend too. We were trying to figure out why we were having problems. And the weekend is never a good time to try to get something resolved, unfortunately.
All right, guys on YouTube, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Mo, clear your cache, close your browser, go back into the site like you normally would. No, it wasn't that GCD. It could barely support anybody. So anyway, we're going to shut down YouTube, but thanks for watching. Trade safe. We'll see you tomorrow morning with Carlos and myself, the pre-market show, 8:30 Eastern.
All right, just